Yes, people. We're back for another quality over quarantine. Everybody stuck in the yard, stuck in the house. Um, we got a we got a big guest. I'm excited about this one. This is like I haven't really done proper introductions like to guests yet. I've just been kind of like just go on. But I have to let you know. Number one, this is our first female guest, which is kind of sad. See, we're on number like this is like the fifth episode, but it's also our first guest from kind of like outside of London, M25 area. I know Philly don't really count. Luton don't really count because Luton's London. So without further to do, let's bring in the one and only Leddie.
How's it doing? You alright?
Yo.
You alright?
Super good, man. Super good. How have you been doing in this whole lockdown business? What's it like up north, man?
It's dead everywhere. It's great. But I've been alright, to be honest. I thought I would be a lot worse mentally, but
yeah,
I'm actually enjoying it, which makes me an absolute fucking psychopath, to be fair.
Okay, you say that, yeah, but then there's a lot of people that I've spoken to that have said the same thing. So I feel like, obviously, we have to check our privilege at the door, but at the same time, there are a lot of people in situations where the lockdown is absolute hell. But for a lot of us, and I think that's why as well, when we say it, we're kind of guilty with it. But for a lot of us, it's like, it's time to rest.
That's it, yeah, that's
like,
the one.
I said yesterday, went to bed, and I said to Corinne, like, do you realise that no one's tired anymore? Like, you don't, like, you're tired because you've been up for a long time and you go to sleep, but you're not like, during the day, like, I need coffee.
Exhausted.
I haven't drunk any coffee this whole time because I've never been in a position where I'm just like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit down. I need a little pick me up. So that is, I have to say, that's one side of like this whole lockdown that's kind of worked. But you were working like up until like a week ago, right?
No, like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So, like, I work in a huge retail store, brand, and like obviously people were closing down and things, and we were all getting like really frustrated and pissed off. Like, why are people buying clothes and shoes?
Yeah.
Full family shopping and stuff. Like, I'm not even on the shop floor, and I was pissed off just because I had to be there, I think. But Ian, like my husband, went back to work Wednesday just gone.
Okay.
So like his alarm's still going up at 5, so that's the time I'm also pretty much awake now.
That's super crazy, man. That's super crazy. So yeah, big up Ian as well, man. Ian the superstar.
My ghostwriter.
Come on, man. You like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of Middlesbrough. I swear, man, he's so cool. All right, so we're gonna get to him later. We need to rewind. So, I still remember where I was when I heard you for the first time. So, this is how long ago it was. I was on a bus, yeah. I was on public transport. That's how long ago it was. And I was given this CD by, I think Logic gave it to me. So it was a People's Army CD that we had just come out. I think I had a track on it as well, but I think I'd just gone to see Logic, and he was like, he had some of the CDs, so he gave me the CD, and I'm listening to like, you know, who's on the CD and whatever, and then it gets to the track that, I don't know if it is a solo track. Was it solo?
It might have been This Will Be, something like that.
Yeah, it's This Will Be, but I don't know if was that you, was that a solo track?
Yeah, solo, yeah.
Alright, cool. So, this track comes on, and I'm just like, wait, what's the accent? Like, what is going on here? Like, what's the rhyme pattern? Like, and so I rewind it, start again. I'm like, nah, this is cold. And I think I must have got home and I played it to Corinne, and I was like, listen to this. This is nuts. And I feel like the way that you rap plus the accent all just came together, and I was just like, from then on, I was just like, yeah, I'm a fan, like straight up. And that was a while ago. How long ago was that?
Oh God, like 12 years, 10, 11, I don't know.
That is quite nuts. Yeah, it was a while ago. So how did that wasn't your first. You know what I mean? You've been doing it a while before that. So how did you come into the game, and what was your introduction into hip hop?
Basically, I started writing like shit bars when I was about 12 or 13. I used to play football, and then it would get to winter and I'd have nothing to do. I'd be bored. So I think I started like just writing shit bars and stuff. My dad had played like obviously people like Eminem or whatever, and I thought, this is shit. What the fuck is this? Like shit. And he was like, no, like if you actually listen to what they're saying, like they're telling a story or talking about certain things. So I actually listened to it and I thought, like, fuck, he's actually right. Like, so I started writing like maybe like little 4 bars. Obviously, I didn't know what they were at the time, and just kind of talking about daft things or whatever. And then I got to college when I was about 16. I was the only female in like my entire year. Ended up just following like this group of lads, and it turned around. And obviously, I had like my Echo hoodie, my G box on, baggy trousers, and they were like, "Do you listen to hip hop?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So they were like, "Oh, so who have you heard?" And I was like, "Well, like 50, Lloyd Banks, like naming all these American rappers." And they were like, "Oh, okay. So do you spit bars?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Everyone that listens to hip hop writes bars."
That's
And I was
true.
like, "No, no, I've never done it." And they were like, "You're lying, spit something now." So I did. And then they like, there was an older guy in our group, and he was really into UK hip hop. So I think one of the first tunes that he showed me was something from Young Gun,
Okay.
Dance Moves. Then he actually gave me your CD, Dip on Road.
Sick,
And that
bro.
was one of the first. Then obviously like Task Force, and I was introduced to it that way. And then I remember them just saying like, I didn't even know Smoggy lived like 5 minutes away from me, and they were like, on Saturday we're going to his house to record and write a tune, and so be there for 12 o'clock. And I'm thinking like, I've never fucking rapped on a beat before. How am I going to write these bars? So I went anyway. Probably got it on about my 65th take or something. And then, so I was on a tune, like I'd actually done like a 16-bar verse. And then we started putting together a mixtape, and that's pretty much how I got into it.
That's actually cold. That's actually cold. It's funny actually because a lot of it's so funny the amount of rappers that I meet and they're like, oh, you know what, your Dep on Road was the first like UK hip hop I ever heard, and to me that's super crazy because obviously I have that I have kind of that relationship with certain other people like with Black Twang and Roots Maneuver, so it's like being kind of held in that kind of regard. It's a little bit nuts to be fair, but yeah. So when you first started, you were you weren't in a group, you were solo, but around people who were rapping.
Well, we kind of made a group, so we were like,
Right.
if we're going to do it, then we're going to. There was about 4 or 5 of us to start off with, and then we got the DJ and there was a beatboxer, so there ended up being about like 6 or 7.
Soon.
And then we did a mixtape, and it was kind of like just a mishmash of tunes that we'd all kind of put together.
And it's kind of funny actually because so obviously for those who don't know, are you from Middlesbrough originally or?
Yeah, I'm from Bury. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's for anyone who lives not in that area. That's like near Newcastle. They're not the same place. I thought they were. They're not. Don't. Like, I mean, it's beef. It's beef. But like historically, when it comes to hip hop, there's quite a deep historic connection with hip hop. I know there's a lot of b-boys from there, a lot of guys who are into UK hip hop super early. So how was what you were doing merging with the scene at the time?
When I think I did like some performance thing. There was like a drama group or something when I was about 14, 15. And my mate was going, and I was just like, why the fuck would I want to go to that? Like, I'm like not an actor. And she was like, no, they do like music and stuff, and you really
Right.
like. So I ended up going along, and there was a DJ called ADS and an MC called Ken Masters, and they were from Newcastle.
Okay.
So they were like, oh, like you can either go and do the acting thing, or like your mate said you're interested in music, so what do you do? So they kind of showed me like Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil, and people like
See.
into like the storytelling. So I ended up doing like this production thing where I did like a few like local performances basically, and I was like the rapping janitor with this bloke called Sammy D.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
we would have like conversations in rhyme. So I got into the local scene. I think I got to about when I'd met the lads at college and we needed gigs. I was like, shit, I know a DJ, so I'll text this DJ. So then he was like, yeah, just be at this like it was like a little cafe for about like 7 o'clock on a Friday night or something. So we turned up. It looked like this little vegan cafe or something. Like it looked like no night that I've ever been to before, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? Like, it's a cafe. And then I think like at the night when it switched and set the decks up and like hordes of people turned up, it was nuts. So I got into it by like basically pushing my luck with people that had already kind of established their name and they give us a chance. So I got into like their circuit that way, really.
So how old were you then?
16.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a minute, because it's actually funny. Yeah. So when I was lining up guests for these shows, I was like, one of the things I wanted to keep it. I wanted it to be like veterans in the game, people that have been in the scene for a while, and I wanted to keep it UK hip hop. And then I already had your name written down, and I was thinking like, to me, obviously, I kind of see you as like your little sis, innit? But like at the same time, you've been doing this for a very long time, consistently, and you've been a kind of like a leader in your area, and you're very highly respected. And it's funny, it's like quietly you just become a veteran, become a legend in your own right. I don't want to skip forward too far right now. How did you hook up with Smoggy? How did that come about?
He was one of the lads that I was in the group with. So there was like 6 of us.
See, all right.
So then as time kind of went on, people grew out of it or like left our little group. There was always like mini beefs, but we always kind of sorted it out. And then people kind of started drifting off, and there was like me, Smoggy, and the beatboxer left.
Right.
So me and Smoggy done the Sorry We're Late album.
Love
and then we got a gig support in the game, and the beatboxer turned around and he was like, "You're a sellout."
Oh shit.
So performing the same songs that we've been doing for 3 years with no fucking audience, doing it in front of like this huge audience that we're going to have, we're now a sellout. And he was like, yeah. So we're like, fuck off then. So then it ended up being Smoggy. So it's kind of like we whittled it down and it was just us doing it.
See. You know what? You kind of bumped into a little subject I didn't want to get into till later, but we're here. So you're somebody who, like me, has a lot of secret weirdo haters, right?
This video is already going to get 70 like straight away.
Right, because we have like the same things. So there's like one person who doesn't like us, has lots of accounts who just dislike all our videos, which is I think when it first started happening to me, I was a little bit annoyed. Then I was like, actually, no, it's quite cool, because it's like somebody doesn't like you enough to like really go out of their way to take their time to keep watching your videos. Like, they're supporting you more than a lot of people who say they're supporters, because the video will go up and they'll be the first ones there, like watching it straight away, giving you a view, giving you a dislike, which is an engagement anyway. So YouTube algorithms don't care which way it goes. You're still getting paid either way. But how did this happen? Do you know who it is? Like what's the deal with that?
I literally used to be like, we're putting a video out at 12 o'clock tonight. And then I'd check at like 12 and it'd have like 17 thumbs down. And I'm thinking, shit, it's only got like 20 views. Like, but I have no idea. I actually brought it up to somebody at a gig. And I was like, I really like, for whatever reason, people just don't like what I do. And he was like, no, it's just the scene of where we are. So it's whether they're in the scene or whether they just kind of look outwards, or if I just have them on, I don't know, I might just have them on Facebook. They might not even be part of the scene and they just like dislike videos. But
it's super strange, man. It's super strange. I don't really get it. I'm just kind of like because of the kind of person that I am, like, I'm really weird in a way, whereas I never, even if I don't like, there's people that I do not like here, but I will never dislike their video. Like, I just wouldn't do that.
I just turn it off.
Yeah, like I wouldn't watch it. Like, it's actually nuts.
Just to get my own back, I just turned off the ratings. so they can't even put a thumbs down anymore. And I just thought, fucking try now.
Yeah,
I've had enough.
Yeah, nah, it's a weird game, like music. I think it kind of brings out the worst in a lot of people.
And it's because it's anonymous as well.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't like a song, I can respect like maybe what the message is or the effort that's gone into it and things like that. So I don't particularly dislike anything. I mean, it might sound shit, but I'm not exactly going to say like, oh, that's awful, because they've gone out of the way and they've crafted something and they've put away and energy. And like at the same time, I remember being like younger when now I listen back and think that is shit. But like, but people that give me the opportunities saw potential. So I think to thumbs down things is just kind of out of spite. They either, for whatever reason, don't like you as a person, or they're threatened by the potential that could come.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it, man. Like my hate is a little bit different because I kind of think I know who it is, but it's like but to me it's still super funny because I feel like the more I win, like the more they lose, and there's nothing. It's because of the way life works as well. Like I'm a real firm believer in karma. I'm a real firm believer in doing the right thing and just being right in yourself and knowing, nah, I didn't fuck anybody over. Like I didn't do anything bad to anybody. So if you got a problem with me, it's really your problem, and it's bad for you, man, because the problem is I'm always gonna be winning. I'm gonna keep winning. So unfortunately for you, you're gonna have to keep seeing me pop up and do these things, and you're gonna have to keep clicking dislike. And every time you click dislike, it's taking away a little piece of your soul, and it's building me up to another height, and I'm just even more happy. But let's switch a little bit out of music for a little bit. So you've had, I would say, quite a big turnaround in like just a life change, a mindset. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, just like as far as you move forward in health and just life in general?
I basically lost about 10 stone in weight. I used to think my body was just to kind of carry my brain around, and just completely disrespected my body, ate shit, didn't exercise, and like I suffered with anxiety and depression for like 12 years and had no idea why. So I was going to like the doctors and asking for him to give me things to try and make me happy, and he was like, no, come back in 3 weeks. If it's the same, I'll consider it. So I was going back, and then I was like at breaking point, basically. I didn't want to get out of bed. Funny enough, I had a job interview as I was heavily depressed and actually got the job, and it was fucking awful. Best job I've ever had. So I was going to this job anyway, and then I obviously, people that have followed me know I used to have really big boobs. So I went to the doctors and I was like, oh, I want a breast reduction. And it was this new doctor, and she just said, if they put you under sedation, you're too fat and you die. And I thought,
Jeez.
whoa, what the?
Okay.
No one's ever said this to me before.
Yeah.
So she said you'd have to lose like 9 stone. So I was like, all right, okay. So about a year and a half later, I'd lost all the weight, and then I was referred for the breast reduction. So that kind of was a big wake-up call, and I found like eating better and maintaining exercise and things helped like mentally as well and creatively. So I've just kind of stuck it out.
How did you, as far as like motivation to carry on? Because again, like obviously from an outsider, but I'm also observing what you've done. So I've seen kind of like the full journey, and it's funny as well actually because in the time that you've done what you've done, I think I've like gone up in weight, down in weight, up in weight, down in weight. Like I think I've done like zero sugar for like a year. In the whole time, you've kind of been consistent in what you've been doing. So how have you stayed motivated this whole time?
Even if I don't want to do it, I just do it anyway.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, even through isolation, like I'm still doing like routines on a morning, and it's just kind of like either do it or do it properly. And then I think, all right, I'll start and I'll see how I feel. And then 5 minutes in, I'm fine. It's just like getting started is the main thing. So I used to always just kind of like, when I first started off and I was just wanting to lose fat, it was just kind of like, I bought an exercise bike, I think, and I was like, I'll do an hour.
Yeah.
And I get minutes in and I'd think, I really can't be arsed. So I'd think, all right, do 20. Then by 20, I'd think, just do the half an hour.
Yeah.
And then by time 40, I think, you're nearly at 60, just do the hour. So it's just kind of, I would just trick myself into sticking to it.
That's actually funny you say that, because I'm funny like that. So I have certain habits or certain things that I will do regardless. And to be fair, health wise, they kind of work. So normally I'll go to the gym at least 3-4 times a week, just out. Like even if I don't want it, and I'm the same way, I'll be like, all right, cool. I don't feel like going to the gym today, but just drive to it. See what happens. I'll drive to the gym and I'll be like, all right, what we're gonna do? We're just gonna do the 20 minutes on cardio, and then we'll just do some weights. And then before you know it, yeah, you've done a whole workout. And even with like music and work, it's so funny because people always look at me and say, "Oh man, your work ethic is mad. You're always like doing stuff." And it's like, for me, I'm like, half the time I don't feel like doing it, but my bare minimum is still so high, because I'll still be in a situation where I'm like, okay, I want to do 3 songs this week, or I've got a recording day, I want to do 5 songs today. And for most people, that's a lot, but it's a case of, because the habits are there.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. It's not even something I really have to think about that much. And it sounds like you're kind of like on a similar thing. Like you've got your bare minimum. I'm going to do this regardless. Anything else is a bonus. And I always feel as well like the work is it's the work. Like just do the work. Like do the work. The work is the most important thing.
No cheating it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're only cheating yourself if you don't do it. And I just think I would be, if I can't be asked, I think I'll be a lot more disappointed in myself if I don't do it than if I'm tired later or whatever. And I always think of it that way.
So how was your life changed through this whole process?
Well, I don't really get depression, anxiety anymore, which is a good thing. Obviously you get bouts and stuff, but it's nothing like it used to be, like crippling and stuff. And I think within about the first month of adapting this new lifestyle, so I cut chocolate out for a year, which was a little bit heartbreaking because I could live on it. I absolutely could eat it for every meal of the day. So, and I'd started eating fruit for what, like that's what healthy people do, innit? You just eat fruit. So I think about a month into it, I actually met Ian and we ended up going for a drink. So kind of not exactly a love interest at the time, we were just friends. Meeting and things like that and going for drinks and food or whatever. And from there, it's kind of, whereas before I was kind of carrying my brain about and I was just focusing on things that were in my head and making music and things like that, it was kind of like, it gave me the confidence to want to do more and achieve more. So I would go out of my way to do things, like wanting to meet new people and wanting to experience new things, whereas obviously before I didn't. And I had no idea why. I just thought, oh, this is how I'm made to be. I'm meant to be like this. I'm meant to be a little hermit that lives in my house, and I'm meant to be quite big, and I'm meant, like kind of thing. And then obviously I met Ian and a bunch of new people and ended up a few years later getting married and buying a house, and it was never part of the plan.
I have this thing that I say quite a lot. It's about changing the narrative, changing your story. And it's what you just said there when you said, I was meant to be this, I thought I was meant to be that, but then you changed it. And I feel like that's so important, because a lot of people have this story that they tell themselves all the time. This is who I am. And they reinforce it again every day. This is who I am, so this is what I'm going to do. This is who I am, so what I'm going to do. And I always say, like, what if you're not? Like, what if you didn't? Like, if you, this idea of, me, I'm a kind of person, like, which is why the lockdown works really well for me, but also kind of bad. I'm a kind of person, I don't like going out. I rarely leave, I only leave my house if it's for work. So being in a situation where, like, you really should be, you should go out. A lot of times I'll just be like, no, I can't be bothered. But then recently, before the lockdown, I was kind of forcing myself and just be like, no. You don't have to be that person all the time. You can go out. And the mad thing about it is, every time I go out, good things happen. I meet new people, I make new connections, and it always elevates me to another level. With your new mindset, how was that transformed or transferred into your music?
It's just I'm not as shy as I used to be anymore. Well, I'm not shy at all now, but like it's given me the confidence to kind of like try new things. And before I would be really scared, like I don't want to put this song out in case people don't like it. And now I kind of think like I'm doing this how I want to, whether you like it or not. So this song is going out, whether people like it or not. It's for me. Every song that I've done is for me. The only difference is I want other people to hear it. Like I don't want to make something that I think, oh, I've got like really like poignant points in there that people could relate to, and then not put it out. It might be like that one bar that somebody like thinks about and thinks, oh shit, yeah, like that makes sense to me. And even if it's just that one bar and they're not paying attention to the rest of the song, like can stick in people's heads and completely change their life.
That's very true. I get that a lot as well. So with one thing I've kind of noticed in your music as you've changed, you've actually taken a lot more control over almost every element of what you do. So you're producing now.
Yeah. So I produced the Sorry We're Late album with Smoggy, but it was like sampling, like obviously sampling tunes and well-known ones and stuff, and then you can't really get them cleared and things like that without big budget. So then I had Alex Bailey producing me for a few years, and then he like ran for Labour or something in Scarborough. So he was like, oh, I'm not going to have a chance to do music. So I thought, all right, like I'll just start putting like bass layers together with like online samples and stuff.
Okay.
And then I was like, shit, like I don't know what key this is in. Like how am I meant to add to it if I don't know what key it is? So I downloaded like an app on my phone, and then I would use that to look for things that would match. And like it's all basically been chance. But I would like I have session musicians that I can send them something to add a bass or a guitar and they'll do it. And then it's like building the rest of the song. So I'm lucky being like knowing so many different musicians.
How have you found, like obviously you're proficient as a rapper. That's what you've been doing for a while. But how has the transition been into actually making beats now, producing your own music? What was the learning curve like?
It made me build songs with actual musicality, so like building up the choruses and having solos in there, like guitar solos and big. In college, my tutor always said like a song should have a beginning, middle, and an end. So you have to like don't fade out, build the end. It's part of the song. It's part of the musicality. So obviously, like with me rapping, you can be the best rapper in the world and make shit songs. I didn't want to do that.
That's true.
So I kind of stripped it down a bit, and I say a little bit more, and I don't cram as many multisyllabics in anymore. And then with the song, it's kind of I like to build it. But as I'm making the beat, a lot of the time, it'll like give me a concept, or I'll start writing a chorus, and I find that way easier than if somebody just sends me a beat. Like it's quite hard if somebody sends me a beat and they're kind of like just write to it, and I just think like what the fuck do you want? Like whereas if I'm making it, I can get ideas in my head and start off that way. But if they don't have a concept, or if it's not a collab or whatever, and they've just kind of send me a beat, usually I can struggle unless it sparks something straight away.
Yeah, I find one of the things I find is I always feel like if someone gives me a beat, I'm the same as you. I can make a beat that sounds perfect for me, but even though it might be the best beat, but it's the best beat for that song. Yeah. And I feel like that's almost like that's a big difference. And I feel like that's almost makes it worthwhile doing it myself, because I'm putting myself in a position where I know exactly what I want to say, I know exactly what I want the feel to be, and me personally, I would say I'm not the best producer, but I'm gonna make the beat that works perfectly for the song that I'm trying to make.
That's right. Like, I mean, I like with these session musicians, I just kind of email them the beat, and I'm like, if you get a chance, could you just put a bass on that? It's like 87 BPM or whatever, and then a few days later, I usually get it back. But it's just like it's nuts. Like it's mad how I've gone from asking people for beats and stuff. Like with the album that I did with Alex Bailey, he sent me stuff, and I kind of felt like I had to write to it because he'd made it.
Yeah.
And I was like struggling with certain things or whatever, and then when I was recording, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to re-record that, because some we did build around where I just had drums. So I wrote and then he built the song behind the drums and my bars.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'll re-record it. And he was like, no. And I was, well, it's like the delivery would sound so much different.
Yeah.
So there was things that I didn't like that way. And then with me doing it now, like, I think some of my songs I've probably like rewrote, re-recorded, scrapped it, then changed the beat behind the bars that I already had. Then when I recreated the beat, I thought I can probably write that a little bit better. And it's probably like the fifth or sixth time that I've done certain songs, but like I'm really happy with them instead.
This is a question I don't think I've ever asked anybody as an artist, but it kind of, I feel like it might pertain to you. How has marriage like changed you as an artist, or how you feel about yourself as an artist? And I know it's like it's definitely a big deal to everyone who gets married, obviously, but you're the only person I think I've ever seen who's been on their album cover wearing a wedding dress.
What, like White 97s?
Yeah.
I don't know really. It's just kind of like gang.
Yeah.
Like I can come in and I'll be like, oh, like so and so said this about my song, and he's like, right, and it's like, what? Like it's like you fucking back up. Do you know what I mean? Like that's if like it's kind of like when I'm feeling a bit self-conscious or I'm lacking a bit of confidence. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and he back up and he gets me back to it. So it's kind of like a bit of reinforcement when I feel a bit shitty or things aren't going as well as I expected. There's been so many times where I've literally finished a gig and we've been driving home and I've said, I'm never performing ever fucking again. That was the last time. It'll be a shit show. And then about 2 days later, I'm like, oh, so I wrote this song. And he's like, no, you said you quit. So that's it. And I'm like, no, like, if I just do this song. And he's like, no, like, you've said you've quit, so you're done. And I was like, no, I was just having, like a mini breakdown. But, like, yeah, he's my backup.
That's cool, man. It's definitely, yeah, it's always good to have someone that you can actually rely on.
Yeah.
And someone who can actually give you, like, honest opinions as well about what you do. I feel like as well it's super important, because the more you give of yourself as an artist to supporters or fans, whatever you want to call it, it does have it's so important to have an anchor to know who you are, because people see you in different ways. People see you as I don't know, people see you as whoever. You're Leddie MC, you're the artist, you're this. Whereas it's really cool to be able to be in a situation where you're just you.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, man.
I try to kind of see is actually who I am, but like obviously online, like when you're taking the piss or you've got to kind of put up a bravado, it does change a little bit.
Yeah.
But whatever, and like I'm still who I am. I wouldn't have some kind of ego, or maybe like a decade ago I might have done like put on the bravado and the act, but now it's just kind of like MC is just a performing name, and like what you see is what you get. Yeah. Whether it's like in the pub or I'm at a gig, like in between my tracks, like I take the piss and like I explain the songs and the lyrics behind them and stuff, and it's just like banter in between, I guess.
Yeah. It's a big look. It's a big look. So this you're working on a new project right now.
Yeah. I had in my head I was going to do this album. I was going to do like 13 tracks. So I did like 20, 25 songs, and I was like, yeah, I'll narrow them down. And then I went to like this roundtable discussion with like professionals from the music industry, and they were like, have you got any questions? And I was like, yeah, like what do you recommend doing like with an album? And they were like, don't do one.
Right.
Like shit, I've been working on this fucking 13 track album for like a year. And they were like, just do 2 5-track EPs or something and a few singles. So I was like, all right, okay. And then it kind of like, they just completely shattered everything that I had planned. And so I'm releasing like a 5-track EP in October, hopefully.
Okay.
And I've got a few standalone singles as well. So they'll be getting kind of like put out at some point.
We're kind of going kind of back and forth. Like, so as an outside, we're kind of watching you as an outsider. You're very like, I don't know, like the way your music is presented, the way you're presented as an artist, it always seems like you really do think about it a lot. It's very clean. it's very professional. Like, where does that come from? And is that something that's just come naturally, or how have you kind of cultivated that?
I just kind of like, I think over the years I used to do all the stuff for the group, and then me and Smoggy, I've kind of like integrated certain things. Like I know that you've got to market things and it's got to kind of look professional and it's got to catch people's eye. Like my album cover, I took myself on my phone and really edited a lot in Photoshop and added text, and I think I photoshopped like a shelf out as well. I've got a shelf with like photos on, but I was using a timer on my phone, and I literally had to pick the glass up and put a cigar in my mouth and put my legs over the side. It was like 60 takes. I was knackered. I didn't brush my hair for it. Nothing. I just thought if I just get how it looks, I can edit the rest. That'll be fine. And I'm like a proper novice with Photoshop. So I think like 60 images in, I was just flicking through them, and then I found the one that I really liked. I was like, all right, I'll just mess around with it and see what it looks like. And then by the end of it, I thought, this is great. I'll just keep it. So it kind of it was just like fluke really, but I am hoping to do like the next one myself as well, with photo tutorials hopefully.
Nah, man, it's definitely a good look. It seems like whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, it's definitely working. But yeah, I think how was, again, this question is something you're gonna get asked a lot. Where do you think the downfalls, or is there a downside of being a female MC in a male dominated game? Also a very like London centric scene as well. How have you been able to kind of combat that?
It's kind of like, it's strange because some ways you do benefit because people are like really shocked and surprised, like at a gig, if people don't know what to expect. You can kind of see when I start, I think they expect like me to sing or something. And that rapping, they're kind of like, oh shit. But like within a scene, it's kind of like, I don't think it really makes that much difference to me because I've been around for that long. Like people that know me, and they don't kind of like, they don't really base it on, oh my god, she's a female rap. Like we've got this female rapper. They're just like, oh, it's just Leddie.
Yeah.
I think like if females from London thinks it's hard, try having this accent. Like it frightens people. I remember being like doing the show in Islington with like you and Logic and stuff, and speaking to people, and they genuinely look at you like, I have no idea what you've just said. Just blank expressions, and it's like, right, okay, like.
I think I do kind of get that. I understand that. I think like there's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of artists that have accents, or I don't know, are they strange accents? Like accents that you're just not used to hearing. But for me personally, I always like accents, and I always think that it makes the music sound way more interesting. I even listen to this. I listen to hip hop that from other languages I don't even understand, because I just like the way it flows. But I think obviously there is a lot of people do get stuck in their ways, because I remember, and we still get it now. You have Americans that are like, what, UK guys rapping, now the accent, I don't like the accents, and you see people comment when Giggs was on the track with Drake, and they're like, nah, the accent sounds whack. So you're always gonna get that. But I also feel like hip hop is so massive now that you can definitely exist within whichever ecosystem you decide to be in. So whether it be, it's funny actually, Manchester used to be a place, or Manchester still is a place, they can almost exist within themselves, because you don't need anybody else. The same with Ireland, they don't need anybody else. Same with Scotland. Do you think being up north is a place where you can really, there's enough of a big enough scene where you can just be in that bubble and be successful?
I don't think you can be successful as in terms of like millions of plays or anything like that, but like you'll get consistent gigs, or you'll make a bit of change from like selling CDs and stuff. I think it's like you say, like Scotland is a bit self-contained, and like I think where we don't want to be, but we are, and it's kind of like trying to get out of the area. Like the Newcastle accent is hard. Like on hip hop, like if they've got a kind of, it's not as strong as a lot of other people, then you can understand a lot of it. But I would understand why people from London listen to like Geordie hip hop and think, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So strong and like, but at the end of the day, it's like hip hop is come as you are, so that's what you're getting. Do you know what I mean? Like these people could easily learn an American accent or and do it to have more appeal, but they don't because it's not. They're not doing it to kind of like promote a package or anything like that. They're just doing it because they really love it and it's what they want to do, and they want to put the music out and they want to perform and they do want more from it, but they don't want to have to kind of like sell themselves short to be to do it.
That makes sense.
It's kind of now London is getting used to like Birmingham accent, Manchester accent. Like even as far as Leeds, I think it might be like another like 5 to 10 years, and then the accent will be a lot more accepted. But at the moment, it's still just like up and down. Like Manchester wasn't even accepted that many years ago.
That's true, man. That's true. I like what's his name? Is it A-Star? What's his name? I think it's A-Star from Liverpool. And his accent is hard, man. And like to me, he's a good rapper, but the accent is what got me like first off. I was just like, right, who's this? What's going on? So I feel like there's always going to be there's always space for originality, and I don't even mean in like a novelty way, but I think if someone comes through, and if you're hard, isn't it? Like people are gonna be gravitated towards you. Like I said, the first time I ever heard you, I was just like, I don't care who else is on this CD. That's the only track I really listened to. Like I had the track, had the CD, and these are iPod days. I think that's the only track I burnt off the CD, put on the iPod. Like the rest of them, I was like, yeah, it's cool. They're all good, innit? Like, but it just didn't hit me in that way. So I feel like, yeah, man, there's definitely space. So what's the future for you? What's your future plans? Obviously, you got the EP dropping in October. What else we looking to do?
I'm going to hopefully do some videos when all this is blow over. Hopefully it shouldn't be too long. Picked like 2 singles. The EP, I'm going to get back to performing because I stopped performing in like December, which was meant to be for like 2 or 3 months, whilst I got shit together, and then obviously the lockdown happened. So I decided from September onwards it's just going to be like fresh set, ready for the EP.
Nice.
And then hopefully get some decent bookings and go from there.
That's what I wanted to ask you as well. How was it? Because you know what, this is funny as well, yeah. Even though again, you're off ends for us, you're far out, but you do get a lot of work. Like you do get a lot of work. You do a lot of shows, a lot of features, a lot of press. What do you think it is that allows you to kind of break down barriers or get into spaces where I don't see a lot of other artists that are in your position really doing?
I think it's just kind of reaching out to people. Like there's been so many times I've got in touch with people on certain platforms and been ignored, and then they might see like a retweet or I've booked at a certain show, and then suddenly they'll get back in touch and be like, oh, sorry, I missed your email. And it's like, right.
Them ones, yeah, all right.
But to be honest, I think it's just trying to fit in places where I don't think there's space. Like I just kind of like bully my way in a little bit and then hope for the best. There's been times where I've literally had like no collabs and I'm not working on anything, and I've put on like Facebook, does anyone want a 16? And people message me and they're like, yeah, how much? And I think, sound, if you're going to pay, I'll pay my bills this month. So, but like with shows and stuff, there's been a lot of the time where I have like applied for things and not got it, and it's kind of like, well, why not? Why haven't I got it? And then down the line I'll get something better, and then I realise like the stuff that I've missed out on, like, and I was absolutely gutted about, or I've been overlooked for years on, you know, certain platforms and things, like there's always something better, and I'm always grateful that it comes, because otherwise I'd probably have quit.
That's and that's funny as well, because I feel like you've had lots of opportunity to quit, but for some reason throughout this whole like you said, this is a long time you've been doing this, and it's also funny as well because I see the people who were in positions higher than you before that didn't stick it out, and now they're complaining that they haven't got what essentially what you have. And I think it's a testament just to not only who you are and why you've done it, but it's also a testament to being consistent and
Yeah.
really understanding why you do what you do. You said earlier, you make the music you want to make. You do what you want to do. And I feel like that's always what's going to hold an artist. Because whenever you're doing something for somebody else, I used to have this all the time. So I'd make a song and be like, oh, you know what? This song is going to blow. This song is the one. I made it. It's for the radio. It's for the girls. They're going to love it. And I'll drop it and it will be just crickets. And I'll be like, ah. Oh. And it would take so much like off me because I'm like, I put so much into it and I was expecting so much and then got nothing back. Whereas when I make songs that I really, for myself, like the last big song, not big song, but the last song I made that did quite well was a track called 37, which was literally done in an hour just for myself to celebrate my 37th birthday. That's the only track I have right now on Spotify that has over 100,000 plays. And it's like, I couldn't have planned that. There's no way I could have done that. Like, and I feel like you're a classic example of someone who's just always doing what you want to do. And it's almost like a blessing that those doors do get closed on you or did get closed on you. Because like you said, it puts you in a better position now to really just be who you want to be and do what you want to do.
That's it. It's just like, get with it or fuck off, basically. Like, it's just how it is. Like last year I wrote a song for my niece for her birthday and it was purely just for me. And then got my mate to sing on it, Eve Conway, and people love it. And I was just kind of like, out of everything that I've done, the song that I wrote for my niece is your favourite. And it's like everything else that I've said didn't matter. And it was like just one song. And it's just like advice to my niece as she grows older. Like, I'm not always going to be a great example, but I've got like bits of advice that she can probably take or leave. And it was just kind of like I did four 16-bar verses and people were like, don't do 4, do 2. And it's like, no, I'm doing 4 because I've got stuff to say. Yeah. So I did the 4 verses and I performed 3, I think, when I do it live. But that was what people really liked the most. And it was because it's like, it's got purpose behind it. It's got a message and, you know, like it's got a bit of emotion to it and stuff like that. And it's like, and I just did it for me. I just wanted to give her something for her birthday that wasn't like a pair of shoes or something. So I did this song and people loved it.
I love that. I properly understand that as well. And even that whole less is more, and people are always going to try and tell you to do things a certain way and do less verses. Why we've had this conversation about being so intricate, like, but the fact that you're just like, nah, this is my thing, and I respect that. I love it because I'm exactly the same way. I've always been in a situation where people have said, you know what, you should probably do it this way or you should probably do it that way. And I'm so hard-headed that I'm just like, nah, like this is me. This is how I'm doing it. And I don't even care I don't care what your opinion is because you ain't done it better than me. Like, I do what I do, innit? And that's just the way it is. So yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool to see as well. Like I say, I'm a watcher, man. I watch everything. You might not see, well, you know, because I always retweet your stuff, but there's a lot of people that I don't, but I like to see what people are doing and how they're doing it. And it's definitely like, it's definitely been a blessing and honor to watch you grow into the person and artist that you are today. Because I think a lot of people can definitely learn from you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All good. All right, cool. So we're going to, like, these are they're kind of short. I'm kind of keeping them to like under an hour. But we're going to, as soon as lockdown is done, we're going to be in a position where we've got a little studio. So we're going to have you back.
Man.
We'll be closer to the EP will be out. We're going to have a little space where people can come and talk and perform. So definitely we're going to have you back on that. But for now, man, I just want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a guest. It's been very informative. It's been very interesting. And we're going to do this again.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. So people, that's it for our quality over Quality over Quarantine. It's a tongue twister, man. I mean, Thank you for locking in. Hit subscribe. We need more subscribers, so hit subscribe. Please share this interview and let us know what you think. And let us know who else you want us to interview as well, because we're always here wanting to know, like, what we're here for you, innit? Like, we're all just here in lockdown, and we're here for you. So let us know. But until then, peace and love. We'll see you tomorrow with another guest. Peace.